Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today, we are going across the street to our neighbor's yard as part of the new home build series. We're going to go ahead and check on the updates of what these guys have been doing over the last few days. And it really has to do with completing that water vapor barrier where they put the polyethylene down. And the exciting part has to do with some tips that have to do with putting in conduit. We'll talk about it once we get into today's episode. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Okay, I'm just going to leave that in. I'm already on take number 3 for this because of different things, noises in the background. I made a mistake this morning on the opening because I mentioned that something about the vapor barrier that was in the last episode, but there was some vapor barrier in this episode, soil poisoning in the last episode, but really the soil poisoning is in today's episode. The life of a vlogger. Anyway, this is like reality TV here right now. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on really what's going on. Today, what we're going to be talking about is what's going on across the street. Across the street, today's episode is mainly focused on, they've just finished up the vapor barrier inside there, but before they did the vapor barrier, what I wanted to talk about today is a little bit about the necessity of soil poisoning. I'm going to ignore all the noise and anything that's going on inside the background, so we're just going to press on through. I got to get this video edited and pushed to you guys. Okay, so then what was I just saying? Oh, we were talking about the necessity for soil poisoning. Also, what we're going to be talking about a little bit today is about the next logical step after you've got everything ready, almost ready for your slab. But before the slab, you have the vapor barrier, you have the steel, the biga, the steel reinforcement for your slab, but you also have to do something to make sure that all your PVC is embedded. And PVC has to do with, well, you'll see. We'll talk about it in today's episode. Let's go ahead and actually get into what's going on and has been happening over the last few days. Now, as we don't want to miss any steps, any of the real critical steps that are necessary when you're building a house, I thought it important enough this morning to go ahead and cover what these guys are doing right here. And this is what they call in the Philippines, this is called soil poisoning. When we say soil poisoning, it's really not, we're not poisoning the soil per se, but we're putting chemicals inside the soil that will prevent things like termites, specifically termites, from coming up and making their nests inside all around the house in places, because they will find any opportunity. Termites in the Philippines will find any place to infest, and what they do, it's very bad because they make their honeycomb structures, and they're huge. Some of the honeycomb structures can be 1 or 2 meters, and it ends up causing the soil to actually collapse when they start doing their little home of honeycomb. So what you can see is this is the process that they are doing to do this, the poisoning. And the poisoning is done not only underneath the house before they put the polyethylene vapor barrier down, but they'll also do it all along. It's very, very important to do it all along the edge of the beam support and up alongside the house, everywhere around the house. Now they're using 2 different types of chemicals here. They're using a selignum product here, as well as something called Termite X. Those are the 2 products that they're using to do the soil poisoning. Anyway, I have Romeo over here with me, and what he's going to do is, if you're doing this yourself, he can give you kind of what the recipe is for doing the soil poisoning. So Romeo, the ratio of, say, like the selignum or the Termite X to the amount of air, how much do you have to spread?
The spread is 5 liters per square meter.
5 liters per square meter. And the instructions will be on the container as far as what to make the water to the actual effective ingredient. All right, here we are a couple of days later, and you can see there's a lot of progress has been done since we just visited when they were first starting to put down the polyethylene vapor barrier. You can see all of it's done now. All of that's done. All of the rebar is done. It's going to do the support for the slabs that are going for the flooring that we'll see later on. But something you see that's a little different now, you see a lot of orange. And the orange that you see here is the rough end conduit that's going to be done for all of the electrical, any type of utility like a fiber or Ethernet cable that goes through, but most of it's going to be for electrical, and the electrical will connect up to each one of the service outlets that they have inside the house. We'll try to get a better view from above so you can see. Now I recommend, this is the tip of the day right here, if you have an opportunity to get some videos with a drone, I highly encourage you and recommend you to take a picture from above and get some still pictures of the way all of the cables are run through the conduit inside your floor. If you ever have to do anything or repair anything like that, you can later reference that. Also, you don't need a drone for it, but the walls, once the walls start going up in every single room, take a picture of the conduit that's going inside your wall, because remember, sometime you're going to want to drill a hole inside your wall to put a picture up, or to mount a television, or to do anything that requires drilling. And you definitely don't want to drill through electrical wire conduit, and you don't want to drill through anything that has to do with plumbing, your PPR pipe that's going through. And that's the tip of the day. It's very easy to identify who is doing what kind of work here. Who is your plumber? Who's your electrician? Who are your laborers that are doing the floor installation for the slab, the rebar, and getting everything set up? I can tell that this man right here, that he had the fusion welder in his hand, that is going to be the plumber. The plumber will be doing all the PPR pipe inside here, making all the connections inside there. Make sure that your plumber, and most of them do that, they pressurize the system before they do any of the laying of any of the concrete. They'll put a cap on the top of it, and what they'll do is they'll pressurize it to catch any leaks ahead of time before they pour the concrete. It's much better to catch the leaks and correct it before the concrete is poured rather than after it's poured, because then you have to break up the concrete, you have to find out where the leak is, and it can take a while to find the leak depending on the size of the hole or the poor connection that they do. So that's another tip of the day. And I can just tell from the smile on his face, although he doesn't have any of the pipes in his hand, this is our electrician over here. And he actually helped us do all of our electrical connection he did most of our electrical on our pavilion over on Villa Feliz. Now you can see this build is going along really fast, but when we're talking about really fast, you have to wait until after that ground floor is poured. They put the concrete down for the slab. Once that gets done, it's going to look like light speed from there on out, because that is mainly all the walls, and the concrete hollow block that goes in between all the columns goes in very, very fast. So we'll probably be doing more videos on a more frequent basis, because things are going to be happening really quick here in the near future. As a matter of fact, the contractor told me they are pretty far ahead of schedule right now. As a matter of fact, the original time for this build was estimated at 10 months. Now it's moved from 10 months down to about 7 months. They were able to shave off some time because of good weather and because he has a very organized crew over there also, and that includes many of the upgrades that the homeowner across the street has requested on top of the original build. Outstanding. All right, well, we're going to close today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed, and if you ring that bell, you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time from right here in the beautiful Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.